So yeah, give us kind of an overview of why we should trademark.
Yeah.
What are the benefits? Because it's not free. Obviously, it is an investment. So as we're thinking about, trademarking some things, what would the benefits be for us?
Yeah.
Well, hello everybody and welcome. Happy Thursday. And Lesli Bitel here, business coach and mentor. And I'm really looking forward to our conversation today. We are so fortunate to have an opportunity to talk to attorney Lisa Fraley. Hey, Lisa, how are you today?
Hey, Lesli, I'm great. How are you?
I am doing great. Just trying to stay warm, right?
Oh, totally. I mean, snow is coming this weekend, and that's why I'm wearing sweaters up to my eyeballs. Yeah.
Right? I know. I got it. Today is 23 here, and truth be known, it felt like a heat wave. I went for a walk this morning. I'm like, it's really feeling warm compared to yesterday where it was, negative.
I get it.
Yeah. So anyway, really looking forward to our conversation today. So for those of you that don't know Lisa, I'm going to go ahead and read her bio. Lisa is, I'll just say, one of my favorite people, and she is also my attorney. So really highly recommend. But let me go ahead and read her bio so that you have an appreciation of her background. So Lisa Fraley is an attorney, legal coach, speaker, podcast host, and author of Easy Legal Steps, who blends her legal expertise as a former healthcare attorney in a large law firm and the care of a health coach through INN. Wait, did I say that right? IIN to help FNPs, licensed practitioners, and coaches protect themselves with contracts, disclaimers, trademarks, and DIY legal templates. And we'll be talking a little bit more at the end about those legal templates. So that's a little bit about Lisa. So guys, let me give you, before we jump into our conversation today, let me share a little bit about what we're going to be covering, because I think this is a topic that, at least the feedback I've gotten so far, is that this is highly relevant and very timely as well. So we are going to be talking about how to protect your brand with trademarking, and essentially how to keep people from stealing your content, which is so important in this, this day and age, right? With everything being online. So a few takeaways that you're going to get from today. You're going to gain an understanding of what, when, where, and how to start the trademark process. So Lisa will be sharing some guidelines on that. You're going to learn why a trademark is actually an asset for your business with actual financial value. And you'll learn the key steps in the trademarking process, and especially where you should start. So again, yay, Lisa, so happy to have you today. I always like to start by asking just a little bit about your journey, kind of like a little overview on how you ended up where you are today.
Sure. Well, we all have had quite a varied journey, I'm sure, to get to where we are, and it's not what we thought it would be, right? So when I got out of law school, I got a job in the big, cushy law firm, just like you would think and just like you're supposed to do. I was a good student and I got a job in the big firm, and I worked a million bazillion hours like we all do in corporate America. And actually, didn't even realize at the time I'd sort of found myself living on caffeine and sugar and feeling a little depressed. And so I eventually voluntarily left the law firm, which is like unheard of. And I went and worked with a life coach. And then I became a life coach. And then as my journey continued, I really had always cared about health and wellness, and I needed to get off of the sugar. So I went to health coaching school at IIN, as you mentioned, Lesli, back in 2012. And what happened was I was going to be a health and wellness coach, and I have a health and wellness business. And then at the same time, all of my health coaching friends were like, but wait a minute. You are actually a health coach who understands the law, and you understand what we need to do to protect ourselves. And we're scared of lawyers, and we don't like the law, and we don't know where to begin. So can you help us? So I sort of pivoted and started Lisa Fraley Legal Coach way back about 10 years ago, to help online entrepreneurs and health coaches and registered dietitians and licensed practitioners really know how to take simple, easy legal steps so that it doesn't have to be scary and it doesn't have to be overwhelming. And you can just go one step at a time to protect yourself and your income and your brand by things like trademarking, like we're talking about today. So it was a roundabout journey, Leslie, but I could not be happier. I've help thousands and thousands of people. And I love it every day because it helps people do what they are here to do on the planet. And that's to help people live healthier lives. So it makes me very happy. So thank you for asking.
Yeah, that's a really great story. Love that. So let's jump in. I know everyone's eager. So let's start by talking about what is a trademark exactly, just so we have our, the vernacular clear.
Lingo, right.
Lingo.
A trademark, and when we say a trademark, we usually mean a registered trademark, which means that you've gone through an application process with the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, and you have gotten the right, basically, to use a grouping of words or a logo or design for a period of 10 years. Like the government grants you the right to use it and to be presumed as the lawful owner of this particular brand. And one thing that a lot of people don't know about trademarking, though, is that it can only be done for marketing purposes. So in other words, I like to say, like, you can't have a book club with your friends and have a logo that you trademark for your free, fun wine and book club, because it's not a business. It's not selling goods and services. It's not for marketing of a business. So it really has to be for something that you're doing in the marketing space. But you do get this trademark for 10 years. You can renew it and renew it and renew it. And it allows you to have that legal protection for your brand.
Okay, so interesting. So it's just for marketing. So give us an overview of, so we talked a little bit about what you should trademark, right? Is there anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, I'd love to elaborate just a hair, because I think this is the part where it gets confusing for people, because we have so many aspects to our brands, right? We have our business name, we have our program names, maybe you have a tagline for your business or a logo for your business, or maybe you've written a book, or maybe you've come up with a methodology or a concept that you really love, or your 5 steps to do something. And people get confused, like, what about that? What can I trademark of those things? So the easiest way to remember is that you can trademark a group of words, and I kind of use my hands to indicate like a small group of words versus a whole entire book, which is what you would copyright, right? It's a small thing like a program name, a title of your business, a title of your program, a tagline, a logo. But it's things that you use in your marketing so that people recognize you and who you are. So we think of very common brands out in the marketplace that we all know and love, like Starbucks. And the name of Starbucks is usually in green or white. And the logo, which has the mermaid with a green circle around it. Like, we have brand recognition for words and images so that you can build your brand loyalty, you can build your brand identity, you can build your brand recognition in the marketplace. And that actually has value. So the things you can trademark are small words and images, like a logo, for example, but not names of methodologies or names of like my 5 steps to this or that or the other, unless it's a program name or a business name and that kind of thing.
Okay. That's so interesting. I never really had that straight in terms of the difference between, what you copyright and what is trademarked.
Yeah, and just the copyright part is protecting an original work of art, they say. So it's protecting things like a book or a poem or a music or a screenplay, or it can be, software even. But I think of it as being something longer, right? It's like your actual work of art, your words, or it could be a video or an audio or like I said, screenplays or software, things like that. But it's a longer work of art that you have created and you're the original author of, and you want to protect that, saying, I wrote this, I created this. But trademarking, again, is for marketing of goods and services that you're selling in the marketplace. So It's for something for sale in the marketplace related to your business.
Okay, great. That makes sense. So yeah, give us kind of an overview of why we should trademark.
Yeah.
What are the benefits? Because
Right.
it's not free. Obviously, it is an investment. So as we're thinking about, trademarking some things, what would the benefits be for us?
Yeah. So when you think about trademarking, the whole reason you want to do it is because if you've put your blood, sweat, and tears into creating a brand that you love, a business name, a tagline, a program name, something related to something that you're selling in your own business as a good or service that is really you're really passionate about it. You feel like it's completely summarizing your work. It's something that you can make a lot of profit from, and it has a lot of potential to use in the future. Then you don't want someone to come along and either swipe that brand and copy it, or play off of your brand and create something similar. Because when you build up people's perception of your brand in the marketplace, that's creating a brand identity and brand recognition. And there's actually an intangible value, we say in the law, that comes with that, called goodwill, which means that if people feel positively about a brand and someone else comes along and tries to copy or take that brand or just tweak it a tiny bit, but not very much, then the argument is that they're sort of piggybacking off of the hard work that this first business owner did to create this popular brand. So that's where we always talk about the fact that if you happen to believe that ideas come from God, the universe, the universal consciousness, collective consciousness, whatever you describe in your own life where you believe ideas come from, what you're allowed to protect is your unique expression of the ideas in your brand, in your logo, in your tagline, business name, program name, etc. So you get to have that as your identity. So the brand identity is really important because you've worked hard to build that goodwill. Also, the brand recognition. You want people in the marketplace to recognize you and your brand. When they see your font and your colors and your logo and the design, you want them to think of you. You don't want them to think of the competitor down the street. You want them to think of you. So the brand recognition is important. And then finally, it also gives you a legal asset that you can sell. So I don't know if you remember watching Shark Tank. They often talk a lot about patents, which is an entirely different part of intellectual property law. But sometimes they'll say, do you have a trademark for that brand name? And that's because if you own your logo or your tagline or something, you can actually sell that as an item, like in and of itself, as an asset for your business, and people can pay money for that because of the goodwill you've built up and the brand recognition you've built up about that. And then of course, having the registered trademark also gives you legal protection to fall back on, to say that you're the rightful owner, that anyone else challenging you has to prove that they created it before you and then they're not copying you. But when you have a registered trademark, you're presumed by the government, by the law, as being the correct and rightful owner of that brand. And that is really beneficial and also saves you time and money from having to defend yourself as much.
Oh yeah, that sounds really important. So so I'm just sort of curious. So, how would you prioritize, right? Like I'm just kind of thinking of
Oh yeah,
assets and even in my own business, and I'm thinking
right.
of, my
Yes.
clients, their businesses. There's so many different options, right?
Yes, totally. So Leslie, I made this up, okay? You're not going to find this in any law books or in law school, but I created just called the 3 Ps of trademarking, okay? The first one is, are you passionate about it? I mean, like you would be heartbroken if you saw someone out there using your brand, like almost like you just feel yourself feeling hurt or violated or someone took something from you. And there are times when people actually can have the same idea and aren't copying each other. Believe it or not, it happens more often than you actually would think. But if it's a brand that's important to you, it's that important to you that you would be emotionally invested in it, that's how you can tell you're passionate about it. The second thing is, does it have a lot of potential? Meaning, are you going to be using it in the future for a long time? Because you can get a trademark for 10 years. That's a long time. So if it's a brand that you're like, meh, I kind of like it, but I might change it in 2 years, don't invest in trademarking. It's not worth it. But if you can already see down the road of your planning, like in your work with Lesli that you might be doing, or you're working in your business, and you can see, I can make huge programs with this. I can make lots of programs using this name or other offshoots. It might be something worth trademarking. And the third P is, will it be connected to making profit? You don't have to be making tons of profit with it now. You can charge $49 for something, or $499 or $4,999 or whatever. It doesn't matter. But it does have to be something that you're going to be connected to selling, right? And if you know that you already have a brand that you're passionate about, that you're going to be using in the future for a long time, and you're already making a lot of money from it, that's where I would start. Start with that brand. And for a lot of people, Leslie, it's sort of an overarching brand, like the name of their signature program, or maybe some people have a signature name and then they have other programs underneath it, right? I'm trying to think of an example, but like for some people, I'm just going to make this up, so I'm pulling this out of my ear. Like the New Beautiful You program or something, the New Beautiful You. And so then you might have the 3-month program or the 6-month program or the Jumpstart, or you might have other things that you're selling, but that's an overarching brand. And if you can do a lot with that, that's a really good place to start, because it does have potential passion and profit connected to it.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.